Hey guys, welcome to my studio. Ooh, satanic. But here's where I seen what I seen, man. I was messing around with this beat in Ableton, messing with this EQ, and then I looked up on the wall and was like, oh dang. Alright, let me show you what I'm looking at. This is the EQ band. This is from a different program than I have, but I'm using this one because it has the full 88 key piano on the bottom to show you what I'm talking about. So obviously on the left you got the lowest frequencies, middle frequencies here, and the highest frequencies on the right. And this band here, this is malleable. You can make it pretty much however you want. And then this is the thing I have hanging on my wall actually right here. And if you look at what the similarity, you got these basically like the keys on the bottom. So these would represent like the lowest frequencies. You have this person here in the middle, represented by like Osiris, was where middle C would be. And then you get higher and higher frequencies until you get this barrier here, which would be like frequencies that are too high to even be picked up by your meat suit or whatever, like a dog whistle, but even beyond the senses of just your hearing, of all your senses. It's just something you can't even perceive. Okay, so I hope you guys watched that video, Progressive Psyche Overlay, so you know where I'm coming from here. So when you do that with that EQ band over here, you can see where the keys line up with these strips on the bottom or whatever you call it. And this isn't a 100% exact match on the EQ because this is malleable, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. I just want to show you this specific example because it has the full piano roll on there. So this is like a barrier. This EQ band is like a barrier to contain all the frequencies within the song or within the mix, within that track, actually, just that track. And you also have inside here, inside Nut, the sky goddess, Nut, however you pronounce it. I'm gonna call it Nut because that's how it's spelled. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. That's basically representing your 7 ancient planets, the moon with the feminine aspect of it here, and the sun, emanation of the mouth, like God said, let there be light. This would be the emanation here. And I'll show you more of my breakdown of the encoding of this in a minute, but let's go back and show you how I want to show you how this EQ band here is malleable. So just drag the generic flute sample in Ableton, and now this is your EQ. I'm going to make it look like that Sky Goddess Nut. And just like on Nut, here I have four different bands that I can manipulate. I can set more here. So I'm going to set 7, just like it's set on the papyrus. And so right here you have about the positioning of what that Nut's body would be, but you could adjust it however till you made it hit that exactly. These boundaries could adjust and make that. And remember, on the left here you have the lowest frequencies, on the right you have the higher frequencies. You just don't have the piano roll on this example here. That's why I wanted to use that other example to show you the piano roll. And let me show you what this does actually real quick. I just got this generic flute sample in there right now from Ableton. A lot of cool effects you can make, like with just sweeps. Just raise one band up and it's just sweeps. You have this lever called Q, where you could raise a certain band with a frequency, and then that Q dials it in more tighter to one frequency, or you can broaden it so it's a more broader band of frequencies, kind of raise all the headroom, or however you want to do it, man. A lot of sound design things you can do in here. So when you look at this, you see those all just the regular stars in it. Those are like represent the fixed stars. So this would be whatever you want to call it, the firmament, or NASA says there's a inescapable force field, Van Allen belt, whatever you want to call this thing here is what it is. It's like a frequency boundary basically, and the stars are fixed to it. You see that? But then the 7 ancient planets are not fixed inside of it. Those are the ones that actually go in retrograde and everything. And that's what's happening basically when they're going in retrograde, is what you saw with like the sweeps or whatever. These things are moving around. They're not fixed like the stars are. And so I wonder if these elites have a way that they can actually manipulate these, what you call planets or whatever, celestial bodies, the Elohim, maybe through technology or through some types of meditations, or even getting people, us, to do some kind of, word magic or whatever. And I don't know how they do it, but I think they're able to like manipulate the energies of these free flowing frequency bands. And it's creating effects just like that sweep created an effect. If these are all the stars are bound to the celestial ceiling, I wonder if this entire celestial ceiling can be raised and lowered by either the love of the collective of humanity. It would probably raise it, or when humanity's in a state of fear, it would probably drop that entire ceiling down like Chicken Little, the sky is falling. So it would be like this here. This whole thing would be coming down, tighter and tighter. And if we're the people on the bottom, it's going to come down tighter. And I wonder if that's what, I'm not saying this is what it is, but maybe when you hear about like Wormwood or Nibiru or something, maybe there's planets that are way up there. I'm not talking millions of miles away. However far away this frequency canopy is, however far away that is, it's not millions of miles for sure. Let's just say it's thousands of miles. If it comes down, hundreds of miles, or maybe 1,000 miles, since everything's constricting in fear, maybe that's when you're able to see these things like Wormwood or Nibiru or something. And it's just because, they're so far away you can't see them normally, but when it gets closer, and then that's when you'd have the effects of it. Or maybe that's what causes like comets to come down to the earth or something too, is if this entire, like the headroom of the entire frequency band spectrum gets dropped too low from people being in fear. So what else I see when I see this here too is you have another band right here next to where our highest frequencies would be. There's another band. So maybe this is what we would call like Antarctica or something. I don't know. Or the North Pole. I don't know exactly how to read this. But there's another band there would lead me to believe it'd be something like this. So since you have that other band, it could be something like this, where our highest frequencies end. There's a whole nother dimension right next to us here where our highest frequencies is actually their lowest frequencies over here. It's a parallel dimension to the right of us. And although it doesn't show it on here, I would say that would also mean there's probably also one on the left side too over here. So it would be like the highest frequencies in this lower dimensional realm are blocked out from us. That's their highest frequencies, which for us would be our lowest frequencies. It's just a little idea I had. I'm not saying this is how it is, but just wondering if that's how it is. And if you liked this video, and if I can figure out how to do it, I'll add one of those clickable link things here, and you can go check out other interpretations I've done of the ancient Egyptian Book of the Dead. So thanks for checking it out, you guys. Peace.